In today's video, I'm going into when other people possibly are contradicting you and making you feel wrong, and then also the reverse of that, where you might be contradicting others and making them feel wrong. So continuing the theme this week of not wanting to look wrong and fear of failure, I was thinking of another situation where recently I had a friend that every time I would say something, they would return or, react, like right away react and contradict everything that I was saying. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. Like here we, usually interacted pretty well and it was always good conversation. And then suddenly it was like everything, not everything, but it seemed like 80% of the time it was contradicted. And things just continued to be that way where it was, oh, I'm contradicted again. Oh, I'm contradicted. It was like, oh, and when I say contradicted, it was like, nope, it's this way. Nope, it's that way. No, you're wrong, and I was like, wow, I am really feeling this, that I am being, called to, face this thing in myself, that I was being like called to be wrong, or being, put in a place of you're wrong. I don't want you to be this way. So I'm going to contradict you because you don't need to, I don't want you to be this way. And it made me then think about my interaction with my family and with my father, where I would do that same kind of thing with him. And sometimes him in return, where it was like we would just be like, no, like I'm gonna automatically reply back with no, you're wrong, or a way of contradicting what, they're saying. And a lot of cases, I always think like with my father, I would contradict him, but it was like we were saying the same thing just in different ways. I mean, a lot of times it was kind of like, no, I'm going to say it this way. You're wrong in the way you're saying it. And so I kind of saw that with my friend too, where I was like, wow, okay, you're constantly, coming at me with this, no, you're wrong, or no, this isn't the way I see it this way. And so I wanted to bring this up because what I'm seeing in this situation for me, like I can see it on both sides now, where it was like, oh, I was doing this with my father, but then also I had a friend doing it to me. And to me, it's a situation where if I believe I'm wrong, if I believe there's, I'm not good enough, I'm wrong, there's things in me, I don't want to look certain ways. So I've shared other videos where I talked about comparing to others and looking at others and, comparing and contrasting, where it's like, no, you have to be this way and fit into my mold of what I believe is right versus wrong, like these stories we have. And so it's kind of like saying, oh, you're not fitting into my mold and I need you to be this way to be right, to make me feel better. So I'm going to contradict you and say you're wrong, or say you're not saying it properly, correctly. You need to say it this way. And so again, I was seeing this with my friend too, where she was, contradicting or saying things, and it made me kind of go, oh, how am I being that she is feeling this retaliation with me? So there was something in me that's triggering her. And like with my father too, there was something in my father that triggered me, that I was like, I can't be this way. I can't, let you be that way. And I grew up in the middle part of the States in Oklahoma. And then I went and lived on the coasts. I lived in, different places around the world. And everywhere I went, I was learning different beliefs and different attitudes, and I would take them on. And again, I shared it in another video of like taking on other people's opinions and beliefs. And so wherever I was living, I was, living and being in these different belief systems and different ways of society. And then I would come back, visit my family, and it would be like, oh, well, the group that I'm with now doesn't agree with anything that you're saying, So I don't agree with anything you're saying. And so then I would be like, well, but you're wrong, and I cannot be like you because the group I want to fit in with, the group I want to be with, doesn't agree with you guys. So I'm going to make you wrong with everything you say, and so it's what I'm getting at here is that we make other people wrong because we cannot be that in ourselves. We cannot see it in ourselves or don't want to even look at it in ourselves. So we're like, you're wrong. I'm going to make you wrong, by contradicting, by saying, no, this isn't right the way you're saying it. So again, I go back to the friend and my father, and I see both sides, and I'm starting to realize that it's like, why do I even need to make these people wrong? Or why are they making me wrong? And in the case with my father, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be the one going, you're wrong. So how do I get into a place in myself that's like, I am strong and confident in myself. It doesn't matter what group I'm with. It does not matter what society says. I can be in myself and go, oh, I see your views, I see your beliefs, and I don't have to contradict them. They're yours. That's your beliefs, your group that you're with as well, versus the group I'm with, and be like, oh, okay, we possibly have different views. Okay, that's just how it is. And then with my friend who doesn't want to say me, it's like, well, this is her stuff that if she wants to be in that place of she doesn't want to see, what I'm going through, what I'm doing, and doesn't want to face that, then that's on her. And I actually can put up boundaries around this too and be like, I don't need to have someone that treats me in this way, that actually is, like contradicting me like all the time or 80% of the time, having these kind of things that come at me. Now, yes, we could talk about it. We could have an open, conversation and say, hey, this is what I'm noticing in our conversations, and see if we can work through, the friendship in that way. But I can also be like, well, if it's not going to change and it continues to happen, again, I can put up boundaries and be like, well, it's what it is, and I can limit my time or, change it up and not be interacting in that way. And then as well, I can step into myself and knowing my worth, knowing who I am. And as I don't worry about, being wrong, looking wrong, what is right and wrong, less people will treat me that way. And I'll reword that in a different way, in that the more that I am confident in myself, the more people will interact with me in a you're confident way, and will not be, like contradicting me in that way. Like, you'll attract people that are not going to be, coming back at you in the you're wrong kind of attitude. Because like when we're in the I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong attitude, you attract that in, and you'll have people constantly being you're wrong. You're being proved right in your wrong, You're constantly being shown then that, yeah, you're wrong. See, here's another person that is just going to show you that you're wrong. So again, once you step into this place in yourself that your worth, your value, who you are, then you're not going to be attracting those people that are going to be, coming at you, with these contradictions and ways of proving you to be wrong. And talking about stepping into your worth and who you are, finding who you are, you can check out in the dialog box below. I have a coaching program, 8-week program, where you can come and join me and work with me to actually, really get connected to yourself and find your authenticity, who you are, your voice, and really getting into having that life where you're attracting in the people that you want to be around, but also being the person that you really want to be. So again, notice if you are, like constantly being at odds with someone, like I was saying with my father, like I don't even think I realized that I was doing this until I saw the friend that was doing it to me. And, realizing that I was doing this where every time not every time, again, it was many times, I'd be like, you're wrong, and often I did really feel like I'm just saying the same thing just in a different way, but I have to make him wrong. Like I have to, because again, it was somehow making me feel right because I had different beliefs, and it's like, oh, I cannot look at the beliefs you have. I'm not stepping into that because I see them as wrong, and in myself, they're not right. So again, have a look at it and see in yourself, where you possibly are making other people wrong in your eyes. But then are people doing that to you? So thank you for joining me today. And if you are enjoying these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next video.